My choice in coming to Montreal was solely based on the fact that I was married to my husband, who lives in Montreal, but also because I found that if I learned the language, which is the French language, in Quebec, in Montreal, it would help me in pursuing my career within the government. The students that attend the French school that I attend come from very different backgrounds. A Chinese background, an Indian background, so very, very multicultural, you could say. Today, our class decided to come to Georges Etienne Cartier Museum. And currently, we are in the dining room that's been set up to give that ambiance of the Victorian era. So, yeah, we really enjoyed our day today, and it was a great experience. I do feel more of an immigrant than I did in Toronto, because Toronto to me was very, of course everyone spoke English. English is the dominant language that is spoken there. In Montreal, there's that, you have to learn French and English. And I think at the standpoint of an immigrant, I would say that becomes a challenge. I think for those who live in Toronto or any other province, they would have more an advantage, or it would be more of an easier process because of the fact that there's only one language that they would have to learn. Quand je veux parler sur un sujet, spécialement sur le sujet de musulmans ou de musulmanes dans le monde, c'est vraiment difficile pour nous. In our French class, what we learn, or what the schedule is on a daily basis, starts from reading the newspaper and the current affairs, that are basically taking place. A lot of which has, basically stories on what's going on around in the Muslim world and what is taking place, and currently the Egyptian demonstrations in Egypt, and that in itself is.
We also find that there's a common misconception of the Muslim world and the Arab culture, or the Muslim cultures as well. And I think one of the most difficulties we find is that we have to defend this in a language that we're not very comfortable with yet. So we find like we need to, it's just like two of us, and we're struggling against the rest, trying to prove a point that they can only understand through the current like mainstream media.
There was an instance where I was, put on the spot, and they said, well, are you Muslim? Are you Muslim? And I said, yes. And she said, oh, okay. And kind of gave me that look of almost disgust that, oh, okay. And I guess what happens is because I don't wear the hijab, there is this tendency where people may not look at me in a way where, okay, she's Muslim. Which, I wouldn't say is a good thing, because now we have Muslims from very different backgrounds, from very different, cultures. So, it's a little sad to see that, but at the same time, I feel that it pushes me to work more towards defending my religion when needed. You want to create an image that is basically showing the religion and the people in a better light.
And it's usually more difficult when you have somebody that if you have someone who does not have an idea what you're talking about, or what a Muslim is, or what the religion is, it's okay to talk about it because you are giving them the first impression they get. However, it's more difficult to erase an idea from somebody's head that's already like a misconception, have them realize that this is not true, and then recorrect it to something else. it's even like it doubles your job. Basically.
Well, yeah,
it makes it tougher to erase
absolutely.
what they already have as a
and
as
that
a stereotype or a misconception.
Yeah. Islam is a word of peace, of liberty. When I hear the word Islam, I automatically feel comfortable because I know it's full of common sense, it's full of beauty and the grace of God.